What's up, my go-getters, and welcome back yet again to another edition of the G Code. You know, I really appreciate you because you are a part of the G Code family. You come consistently on Wednesdays. You're checking in. You're listening throughout the week. You're catching up on your G Codes, and I am just delighted that you decided to allow me to come into your ears and my other featured go-getters to share with you what we think are our G Codes. And today it's pretty special because I want to share with you a G code of my own. And one of my G codes happened to be a saying that I used to say all the time that I learned from my uncle. And the saying is, you have to allow it to be like water on a duck's back and roll off. So as we go into a new month, December, welcome. And we are only about, 30 more days away from the new year. I believe people are scrambling now to either finish strong, of course, to tie up any loose ends of things that we have yet to accomplish, really working to accomplish things that you said you wanted to accomplish in 2015. And some are already gearing up to prepare themselves for 2016 to roll into it already with a plan and already with things in motion. So today I want to talk to you about being a duck. Yes. And why did I choose being a duck? You know, sometimes you look at the commercials and you got the duck saying, ah, flag. You know, and some people say if it cracks like a duck, looks like a duck, there's a chance that it is a duck. And today, I really want you to crack like a duck, look like a duck, because there is a chance you are a duck. Now, if you think about the word duck and the actual species and what it does, you know, a duck simply ducks down into the water to grab its food or to get what it needs to get. It ducks down. And on top of it being that kind of a species that ducks down to get what they need, yes, they are a water propellant. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but nonetheless, water does not weigh them down. They're in it all the time. They're dunking into it. And if it's raining, the way that their coat and their feathers are made, that the water just rolls right off. So when they say, you know, the saying water is not wet, I don't believe a duck can ever literally be wet. But the focus that I want to focus on when it comes to a duck is their ability to maneuver across the water with ease. And I say it's with ease because it just looks so easy. You ever see a set of ducks that's just chilling on the water and they're just quacking, they're talking to each other, and every so often you see one duck down into the water? Or you can see some geese, or what I like to look at are beautiful swans. And time to time I go to my local cemetery, not to be a creep, especially when I'm visiting my grandparents who are buried at this particular cemetery. It's very peaceful. And there is like a pond area that sometimes I go to sit, relax, and read. And there are beautiful swans out there. And the swans and the geese and the ducks are all in the very same family. You know, their feathers do not allow water to hold them down. They all duck down into the water to get what they need to eat. But I want to choose the swan because it is in affiliation with the duck, and just like I said it before, they're out there in the water just chilling. But the swans are beautiful birds, and this particular bird just always look gorgeous when it's maneuvering around in the water, similar to a duck. But what we don't know is that this bird legs are constantly moving to stay afloat. It looks so gorgeous and it's gliding with ease along the water, just like a duck. It looks so dope. It is just gliding along the water with a group of his other ducklings that we have no clue how hard this duck is possibly working against the current, how hard this duck is possibly working underneath this water to stay afloat and to continue to maneuver. And today I want to talk to you about moving with ease. You know, I feel like we all have struggles in our lives and things that we deal with, and sometimes we want to publicly talk about them on social media, or sometimes we really want folks to know what we're dealing with. But I want to say to you, be a duck, be a geese, be a swan in the hardest moments of your life, where deep down inside, we know underneath it all, the glam and the glitz, just like we talk about the pretty, the ugly, and the grind. The grind is right underneath you, and you're constantly moving your feet to stay afloat. You're constantly moving your feet to keep the grind going. You're constantly moving and maneuvering to achieve the goals and dreams that you want to happen. And that is simply what a duck, a geese, and a swan does. And so we have to take on that persona that nothing is bothering us. I'm so unbothered. My stuff is together. And although it may not be, you do not have to allow everyone to see that unless you invite them into your private time to say, hey, duck down under this water and check and see how my feet are maneuvering. Duck down under here and see how hard I am going to get to where I need to go. Because sometimes I'm learning that everyone does not need to be previewed to your grind. Everybody does not need to know your next step, and everybody does not need to know exactly how you got there and the people that helped you along the way. Simply because some people are malicious, which I've never really thought about, but I see it happening more and more. Some people could be very jealous of you, but that doesn't mean you have to stop making your dreams and your reality happen because those are kind of people out there. That means you have to float on top of the water, going against the current with ease, and just really looking like, man, it all comes so easy. But deep down inside it doesn't, because you are working so hard underneath, going against it all to stay afloat, to get to your destination, going against the current, just like that duck and just like that geese and just like that swan. So today I just wanted to drop a quick trinket on you, a quick G code on you to take the opportunity every time you get to do everything with ease, to go through your life circumstances and situations with ease. You know, I remember someone telling me after I shared my story and testified, one good time was when I was going through a tumultuous time in my life. It was just horrible. And I found out some things in my personal life. My mother had got cancer, found out she had breast cancer, and it all happened like a week apart. And I promise you, I was in the most depressed state of my life. But every time I walked outside, I made sure I tried to put my best face on. Every time I had to go into work, I tried to make sure I put my best foot forward. And every time I had to go and be amongst people, I fought to keep a smile on. And so many times, you know, they say it's putting on faces. But now as I get a chance to really dive down and get to know exactly how a duck operates, I believe I was in my duckness. I would duck down whenever I needed to take a breather and grab what I needed to grab, or cry when I needed to cry, but I would come back up feeling and looking victorious. And no one knew everything that was going on underneath of what is it I was dealing with, but I continued to stay afloat even through every crazy circumstance that I had. I remember being let go from a job, even during that time of me finding out my mother had breast cancer and the crazy thing that was happening in my personal life. But I continued to fight through it. And I realized that some of the things that come your way that you look at as a horrendous situation in your life are some of the best things that happen for you, because it teaches you how to fight harder. It teaches you how to work stronger. And it teaches you that you can get through it as long as you continue to maneuver, to keep your feet going, stay afloat, and don't allow yourself to sink pretty much. And the beautiful thing about a duck is that they have to keep their feet going if they're going to sit afloat and stay on water, because if not, they definitely will not make it in the sit. So I encourage you that even in your darkest moment, even in the hardest time of your life, and even when you want to give up, to keep your feet moving, to keep staying afloat, and continue to put on that beautiful face, and continue to glide with ease along the crazy waters of life, and to keep those feet going just like a duck. You don't have an option, because at the end of the day, you'll get to your final destination, you will achieve your goal, and you will look so unbothered along the way. And when they say, hey, and you're telling your story just like I did, some folks say, I would have never knew that you were dealing with all of this, simply because I stayed afloat, kept my feet going, and looked like a swan through everything that I was going through. Well, I just had to give you that G code and that lesson in life from me. On next week, we'll be sitting with yet another featured go-getter who is so dope, is out here getting it, and once upon a time had to be a duck, a swan, or a geese against the crazy waters of life and kept their feet going to achieve their dream. Don't forget to subscribe to the G Code on YouTube as well as SoundCloud and iTunes. And if you don't have the iTunes app because you don't have an iPhone or an iPad or any kind of iDevice, you can actually download the app called Podcast Addict. Yes, I believe that is it. I just have to make sure that is it. And you can find it all there, or you can always find every episode of the G Code at my website, www.ADRI.V.thegogetta.com. And also don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, Pinterest, Periscope, Snapchat, all of it at ADRI.V. The Go Getter. And please encourage someone else to listen, share, and definitely keep the message going. The G Codes is all about the pretty, the ugly, and the grind to success, and encouragement to let you know that there is pretty, there is ugly to it all, and there is always a grind, but at the end you shall be able to achieve exactly what you want to achieve if you keep your feet going and just remain afloat. I love you so much for checking in and listening. Be back again on next week, and always welcome to the G Code.